Hello everybody, it's Lazel here with another Magic the Gathering EDH deck tech. Today I'm talking about Karlov of the Ghost Council. They are a 2 mana 2/2 legendary creature Spirit Advisor, which says whenever you gain life, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Karlov of the Ghost Council. For Orzhov, remove 6 counters from Karlov of the Ghost Council, exile target creature. This is a very heavy Lifegain deck which can win with its commander by itself because it can grow really big and be a threat on its own, but you can also use the activated ability to control the board and win with other creatures. For example, with Voice of the Blast, 2 mana 2/2. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on Voice of the Blast. As long as Voice of the Blast has 4 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it has Flying and Vigilance. As long as Voice of the Blast has 10 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it has Indestructible. Sunscorched Regent also helps with getting some life gain to get the Karlov proc every time when your opponent casts a spell, and itself is a 5 mana 4/3 flying. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Sunscorched Regent and you gain 1 life. Veto, Fawn of the Duskgrowth, also abuses all of those life gain synergies. 3 mana 1/3, whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life, and for 5 mana, creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn. This can get really out of hand when Karlov is already a very big creature and you get to connect with it while this ability is active. Celestine, the Living Saint, 5 mana 3/4, flying lifelink, and Healing Tears. At the beginning of your end step, return target creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of life you gained this turn. With all of the life gain that we have going on, we can probably get every creature back that we play in this deck in our end step. Divinity of Pride, 5 mana 4/4 flying lifelink, and Divinity of Pride gets +4/+4 as long as you have 25 or more life. Crested Somea, 5 mana 5/5. Other horses you control have Indestructible, and at the beginning of each end step, if you gained life this turn, create a 5/5 white horse creature token. Remember that this triggers at the beginning of each end step. This can get out of hand really quickly. Let's enable some life gain. We have Daxos, Blessed by the Sun, 2 mana and 2, and Daxos toughness is equal to your devotion to white. Whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, you gain 1 life. Soul's Attendant, 1 mana 1/1. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may gain 1 life. Suture Priest, 2 mana 1/1. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may gain 1 life. And whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you may have that player lose 1 life. Soul's Warden, 1 mana 1/1. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Elas Ilkur, Sadistic Pilgrim, 2 mana 2/2, Death Touch. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. And whenever another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Auriok Champion is great in this deck because you also have a great blocker because he has protection from black and from red. 2 mana 1/1. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may gain 1 life. Due to the fact that Karlov can already exile a target creature, let's play some more stacked pieces just to slow down our opponents. Let's play Kambal, Consul of Allocation, 3 mana 2/3. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Blind Obedience, 2 mana Extort, and artifacts and creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Authority of the Councils, 1 mana enchantment. Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you gain 1 life. Shieldred is great to punish every card draw. 4 mana 4/5 Death Touch. Whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life. Whenever an opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life. Drana and Linvala, 4 mana 3/4 Flying Vigilance. Activated abilities of creatures your opponents control can't be activated. And Drana and Linvala has all activated abilities of all creatures your opponents control. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to activate those abilities. Last but not least, Witch of the Moors, 5 mana 4/4 Death Touch. And at the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, each opponent sacrifices a creature and you return 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Let's abuse our life gain a little bit more. Heliod Suncrown, 3 mana 5/5 Indestructible. As long as your devotion to white is less than 5, Heliod isn't a creature. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or enchantment you control. And for 2 mana, another target creature gains lifelink until end of turn. Archangel of Foon, 5 mana 3/4 flying lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Sanguine Bond, 5 mana enchantment. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Everflux Reservoir, a great combo piece in this deck, 4 mana artifact. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. Pay 50 life, Everflux Reservoir deals 50 damage to target creature or player. Obsidian Ghost Council is a repeatedly Lifegain every turn. 5 mana 5/5. When Obsidian Ghost Council enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. At the beginning of your end step, you may exile Obsidian. If you do, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of your next upkeep. It gains haste. Twilight Prophet is great for some additional card draw. 4 mana 2/4 flying with Ascent. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have the City's Blessing, reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. Each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is that card's converted mana cost. You want to win more? You get it. Let's play Angel of Destiny. 5 mana 2/6 flying double strike. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each gain that much life. At the beginning of your end step, if you have at least 15 life more than your starting life total, each player Angel of Destiny attacked this turn loses the game. Another great Stax piece is Elishnorn, Mother of Machines. 5 mana 4/7 Vigilance. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes the triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time, and permanents entering the battlefield don't cause abilities of permanents your opponents control to trigger. Last but not least, yes, this might be a little bit controversial because it's usually a EDH card, but Ad Nauseam can be played in this deck because we gain so much life. 5 mana instant, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to its converted mana cost. You may repeat this process any number of times. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this short little list of mine of how I would play Karlov of the Ghost Council. If you would like to add any more cards, put them down in the comments below. Let me know which creature I shall feature next, and then I would say see you in the next video. Goodbye guys.